You've been bored today, and at some point you grabbed your phone, not for anything specific, just to close a feeling. Here's what's strange about that. Scientists put people in a room, empty room, no phone, no music, just 15 minutes alone with their thoughts, nothing else. And when they got a button that shocked them, a shock they'd already felt. A shock they said they'd pay to avoid. They pressed it anyway. 67% of men, 25% of women. One man pressed it 190 times. That man wasn't broken. He was doing exactly what your brain was built to do. Scientists found the precise reason why. We'll get there in about 4 minutes. But first, something more uncomfortable. You don't get bored because nothing is happening. You get bored because of what you are. But that's only half the story. And what comes next is stranger than the shock. In 2012, John Eastwood at York University in Toronto published in Perspectives on Psychological Science. His question was simple. What actually is boredom? For decades, everyone assumed the same thing. Not enough input, not enough stimulation, like a screen with no signal. Eastwood proved that wrong. He ran attention experiments, controlled, precise, and what he found broke the old model completely. Boredom isn't absence of input, it's failure to grip. Your brain has signal, it just can't hold it. That slipping sensation, that hollow, restless frustration, that's boredom, not emptiness. A mind trying to lock on, missing, trying again, missing again. Think about the last meeting where you zoned out. The voices were real, the words were there, but something kept slipping. You weren't absent. You were failing to connect. Eastwood called it the unengaged mind. Not an empty mind, a mind reaching and missing. And the missing feels unbearable because your brain doesn't tolerate unresolved loops. But here's where it gets strange. That failure, it's not random, it's specific to you. And the reason lives somewhere you can't override. And what this says about you specifically, why you get bored doing the exact thing you loved 6 months ago, why you get bored faster than the person next to you, why some people need constant noise just to function. That's a different question entirely. And the answer involves a biological system, one that was never designed for this world. We'll get there. But first, what happens in your brain when the loop breaks? There's another layer, and it might be the most disturbing part of all. In 2014, Timothy D. Wilson at the University of Virginia ran 11 experiments published in Science, hundreds of participants, every age group. His instructions were simple. Sit in a room alone for 15 minutes. Just think. Most people hated it, half rated it as actively unpleasant, not neutral, not just dull, unpleasant. Then Wilson added the button, the same shock they'd already felt, the same shock they'd pay to avoid. Left alone in the room, they pressed it anyway. Wilson wrote, most people seem to prefer to be doing something rather than nothing, even if that something is negative. Your brain doesn't just want stimulation, it requires it, the way it requires oxygen, the way it requires sleep. When input drops too low, your brain doesn't rest. It escalates. It generates its own discomfort. It manufactures urgency from nothing. That hollow, restless pressure you feel, that's not weakness. That's your nervous system running a program 200,000 years old. A program that says this situation is unacceptable. Move, change it. Now, the system was never built for stillness. It was built for the savannah, where stillness meant danger. But here's where everything flips. That same alarm making you reach for your phone, it was also designed to build something scientists didn't see coming. We said, we get there. Here it is. The reason you press that button, the reason you scroll when you're not enjoying it, the reason you eat when you're not hungry, the reason you start a fight when everything was fine, is this. Your brain is a prediction machine, and it cannot survive an unfulfilled loop. When the attention network fails, the way Eastwood mapped it, your brain doesn't accept the silence. It escalates. It hunts for any signal that closes the loop. Pain closes it. Conflict closes it. Noise closes it. Any input that produces a response better than nothing. The answer is attention failure. But what makes this truly strange is what lives on the other side of it. In 2014, Sandy Mann and Rebecca Cadman at the University of Central Lancashire published in the Creativity Research Journal. 170 participants, Group 1, copy phone numbers from a directory, 50 minutes, deliberately, perfectly boring. Group 2, go straight into a creative exercise. The board Group 1, more original ideas, more unusual solutions, more divergent thinking, not slightly more, significantly more. Boredom triggered something the engaged mind couldn't reach. We thought boredom was the absence of something. But here's what we got wrong. Boredom is a pressure, a compression. And under that compression, the mind starts to build. The unengaged mind, slipping, missing, reaching, eventually starts generating its own signal, its own material That's where original thought comes from. That's what daydreaming actually is, not distraction, pressure finding an outlet. But what if the boredom you feel today isn't actually boredom at all? What if what you call the scrolling, the snacking, the phone picked up 12 times in an hour is something your brain has never encountered before in 200,000 years of existence? What if the signal never gets to finish? There's one more layer, and this one is about right now. For most of human history, boredom was brief, rare, functional. It fired. You moved, you found something. The loop closed through action, through exploration, through rest. That was actually rest. The signal did its job. Then the phone arrived. Now the signal fires. Before it can compress, you close it. Before the pressure builds, you close it. Before the mind can wander into the territory Mann and Cadman found in 2014, you close it. Instantly, reflexively, without noticing. Think about the last time you felt truly bored. Not distracted, not restless. Bored, genuinely bored, sitting with it, doing nothing. You probably can't remember because the phone was there first. Edwin van Hooft and Madeleine van Hooff at the University of Amsterdam. 443 participants, 2018, published in Motivation and Emotion. And they found that chronic unresolved boredom, the kind that never gets to finish, consistently predicts frustration, reduced sense of meaning, and depressed affect. Not because life is empty, because the signal never gets to do its job. You kill it too fast. Every time you close the loop before it can push you anywhere. And every time you do, your brain learns the same thing. The discomfort can be escaped instantly. There's no need to sit with it. The pressure doesn't have to be felt. Yeah, we thought constant stimulation was the solution to boredom. But here's what we traded away. The friction, the pressure, the thing that was supposed to produce something. You've been bored your entire life, and without knowing what it was telling you. It wasn't telling you the world was empty. It was telling you move. Your attention needed to find something worth the discomfort of reaching for it. The man in Wilson's study pressed that button 190 times, chose pain over and over, rather than sit with an open loop. Maybe that's the most human thing in this entire story, not the cruelty of boredom, the desperation to close it. Your brain has been trying to tell you something. Every time you reached for your phone before the thought finished forming, every time you filled the silence before it could become anything, you kept interrupting it. The next time you feel that hollow, restless weight, don't close it immediately. Sit with it for 90 seconds, not because it's comfortable, because that signal is old. Older than language, older than writing. It has been inside your species before you were a species. On the other side of it, there might be something your brain was trying to build, or maybe not, but you'll never know if you keep pressing the button. Every time you close the signal, you reset. Back to zero, back to the phone, back to the loop that never finishes. That's what this channel is about. The questions you've been living with your entire life without ever asking why. If that's what you're looking for, subscribe.